Hello, your lovely reader is back with attitude, with a reading, with love and light, and something else. Actually, it took me a while to warm up and get into the character, but here I am, so you're gonna hear everything that I ever tried to absorb and accumulate throughout this lovely week. Okay? Now, if you want to go into the reading itself, that's okay for me. I don't care. You have the topic of if you want to skip, if you want to skip the ramble bit, but it's legendary, so I don't know why wouldn't you want to hear it anyways. But we have in here some 3 boxes. Pile number 1 a box, pile number 2 a box, and guess what, pile number 3 with another box. Okay, the choices are very versatile. It's overwhelmingly versatile, so it's okay if you need a minute to think about this, to let it settle, That's okay. That's lovely. That's completely alright. It's valid. Don't have to be overwhelmed by choices. Okay, now, the topic itself is gonna be hot tea on you. I know, it's a brilliant one. Thank you so much. As usual, you know where to find the timestamps, comment section, description section, go for it. Now I'm gonna ramble because I'm in the mood for it, Okay, this case, this occurrence, this event has happened on Wednesday. It's a very important detail. And I've had a person tell me that I should be actually learning the meanings of the cards, okay? I should be serious, okay? I should be serious about this, okay? Yeah, and that I am disorganized in the reading itself. You know what? Hear me out. Because I'm like a very charitable person and stuff, for this case, for this desperate case, I was wanting to donate and tried to land an F, But I couldn't find any. Not a single F in the house. So guess what I did? I went on a search to find some, okay? So I searched drawers, I searched cabinets, I searched under the pillow, okay? Like, I searched everywhere, For this person, I just wanted to make them feel special, and I searched everywhere. I couldn't, and at the end of the day, I have to confess, I shamefully had simply no F's in store to give to her. I'm so sorry. So sorry. First of all, the comment delivery was plain. It was so plain, it was like giving a wooden plank level type of energy. Try doing something, try refining the message at least. I generally, when I read the comments such as these, I just want to feel like I'm the blood is boiling, I just want to feel like I'm entertained at least, And it was boring, okay? I didn't like it, okay? I didn't like it. It wasn't Perhaps if I have to really learn the card meanings, maybe you should learn to be a bit more entertaining. I don't know. If we're on the topic of giving suggestions that were pretty much unsolicited, okay. And the profile, I loved that it had a crown on it, no offense to the people with crowns, but having a crown in the profile picture doesn't mean pretty much anything. It was giving toxic attitude and stuff. I was thinking maybe I should lend you a helping hand and give you I don't know, a shovel to help you shove those. I said I'm gonna be good today, so I didn't curse as much, and therefore I'm not gonna edit, so I'm still a good person, okay? Even though this, like, struck a chord, which is all right. You know what we don't do on the channel? It's like reading the books on the effing meanings, because while that's wonderfully okay, and I used to do that, I used to really engage in that and think that this is the way, but if it's your way, then that's okay, like, I'm not doing this, I'm not gonna do it, I did it in the past, no longer. And why? Because spoiler alert, and I was reading the people, the situations. How this is syncing so well with exactly when I talk, this is just fascinating. But I was accurate in so many ways, and I've had so many instances where the person was literally trembling. I feel like this is sufficient to prove a point that I don't need any card meanings to read anything, okay? I can literally, at that level, I can literally just pick, like, I was like experimenting. I could pick a branch of the ground, of the lovely ground, and I can just assign a meaning to it, pick the branch, look at the branch, look at you, and say something that is gonna be accurate, okay? And that's the level of nonchalant accuracy that I can have, merely because my perception of things is making people feel transparent. It's actually like forbidden, okay? You should be kidding me that I need to learn the cards. I'm not doing that. That's why this is Blue Gem Tarot. That's why it's not, again, not a Blue Gem attitude, not Blue Gem read the cards and learn the meanings. We're not learning poetry. We're not in high school. We're not memorizing things, okay? That's long gone. We're in a different era right now. We are in Blue Gem Tarot era, okay? And if you really want, you can actually, like, for this person, they could, like, if you want to really wear the crown, you should be doing that with kindness. You should be embodying that, queen and like royalty and whatever else energy you had in mind in there, but with kindness and with good intention, and not with bestie attitude. And yeah, which I love. I'm gonna comment on it, so it's gonna be fun. Everyone is gonna love it. Everyone is gonna feel entertained by it. That's for sure. But it's a waste. Like, you don't have to wear a crown. It's not mandatory. If you have such an attitude, it's not gonna help. A crown is not gonna help you. Now, another comment. This one I loved as well. I shouldn't be using the statues for the reading. I should be instead using some keys, because they feel like they have a message linked to a key. You know what? I think I have a channeled message. You see it coming, right? I feel like I have a channeled message, and it's in regards to my attitude right now. And I don't feel like you're really gonna love it, so I would like to just keep it a secret and captivate you. I just want to make it more intriguing and withhold it for now, because again, I said I'm gonna be good today, okay? Now, to the people that love me, I love you infinitely more. And actually, even the people who comment BS on my channel, I actually also love you, even though it triggered me, and that's okay. I'm fine. I just love these. I think that every time I'm gonna make a scene out of the comments, this is gonna be my community spotlight. I love it. And it would be nice to actually expand perhaps with positive like comments, because the comments, the positive ones, are overwhelmingly, like, shockingly overwhelming. Like, it's just it's beautiful. It's just I love I love all the comments, especially the positive ones, because they, like, you shock me every time. Like, you shock me every time I come across them, and it's the positive type. It's the comments that make you feel like you shouldn't be bad, you know. You shouldn't have attitude, you know. But when I say like it's positively shocking, I've had some like wildly positive ones and encouraging ones as well. Like, it's amazing. So thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for the support as well in all forms, um, money wise, of course. And don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm gonna deal with all of this, and I'm gonna, at the end of the day, shine even brighter because of it. So I'm all right. When I openly talk about things, it's usually because I'm so unbothered and preparing to take the stage with this, that actually it's like, yeah, don't worry about this. I'm gonna deal with all of this, and I'm gonna again make a show out of it. Okay. But something else I just wanted, because of this comment, the first one, I just wanted to say, it's that I find it to be quite fascinating how at some point I was actually very scared to not mess up readings, and basically learned the meanings of the cards. And obviously right now I'm not using them as much because I don't read card meanings, I read energy, and energy can be extracted from literally anywhere and from anything. Like, you could, as I said, I could assign meaning, and then I could literally utilize this meaning to extract various information layers from the people. And a card meaning is pretty limited to, it's pretty limiting and limited to an area, whereas energy, I believe, it's much more expansive, because I could tune the question, I could literally just like tune the layer that I'm interested in, and look at the card and look at the person, and yeah. That's why the accuracy is so good. It's because I simply adore doing that kind of stuff, in a good way stuff. And I, at this point, don't even care to hesitate and ask the person, because I know I'm so accurate. Like, when I do one-on-ones, it's just fascinating. I love it. It's perhaps one thing that supersedes the excitement about the accuracy. It's actually the positive impact that I can have on the people, and the connection itself that is, making the person feel better. And I love it. It's just my favorite feeling in the world, making people feel loved and um, feeling understood and seen. So yeah, thank you so much for everything and for being here. It's really an honor to be a vessel for that kind of energy, all kind of energy, because I'm gonna alchemize it anyway and make fun out of it, the bad ones. Let's begin the reading. Welcome, pile number 1. You chose the box. Okay. So far I love what I see, because you have self-love in here. There is a rumor about the fact that you became much more, let's just say, self-contained, and also with self-love, prioritizing yourself, or prioritizing in general who you are. This is giving me like legend, I don't know, it's propagating the idea that you're no longer interested in either some sort of form of people pleasing, or in general it's talking about a very powerful identity or self-image in here that only brought people to love you even more. And it's also following the dimension of a more intriguing character, a more, let's just say, self-contained, as again, self-conscious of one's worth. With self-love, it could be also that people say or they think about you, the hot tea on you would be that you became much more alluring, much more mysterious. I do not see this as, it wasn't the case, but it feels to me like something recent has made you feel more out of reach, and thus it gave you even greater levels of magnetism, attractiveness, and to me it's a very good, healthy, like accepting the spotlight without necessarily, let's just say, asking for it. So it's like you became more self-contained, and that gave you an aura of unattainability, or like a lot of questions. Like people are very eager to find out more about you. That's what this self-love thing is doing in here, and it's also giving me the energy of a popular person. If in the past you were more or less easier to access or easily accessible, this is no longer the case, and it's bringing greater and greater levels of respect that's being like associated with your name. So, and there is also an anticipation. People talk about like what they can expect from you with the self-love card, and also it's talking about, you know, the fact that they expect some very huge things, because this pile feels to me like you are very quality driven, or in general very like very, let's just say the hype about you is very real. This is no like superficial person in here. So definitely there is some speculation in here, so as to what the next move of yours is going to be. They say also with the sun in here and temperance, there is some sort of element of being humble that was literally outgrown, or it could be that you could still be very balanced in that quality, but okay. This time it was like screeching. Okay, the diversity of the sounds though, it's just so entertaining in the background, but still like radiance and allure, like very alluring. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups as well. Something about you stepping into a more empowered, self-contained, self-sufficient, independent energy is coming through. Because the temperance in here is like you're no longer afraid to make mistakes, and it could be also the fact that you love yourself beyond, like, beyond any error, or you do not perceive anymore that there is something about you that's like a mistake, or you know, it's taking on the spotlight without blame, without, like, it's really a lot of self-acceptance in here as a theme, and it's becoming more and more apparent to people that you are growing in value, or not that you're growing necessarily, but you are becoming more aware of who you are, and it's really like creating this very lovely mix of energies of, like, you know, this pile, this, you are radiating, you are radiating like a sun, like very now, hear me out. This feels to me like the case where, for example, a celebrity knows that they are a celebrity, or that they know about their backstory, they are pretty much confident and self-aware of their image, of who they are, and they're not afraid to like acknowledge this, or they are very aware of this element to the point where it's getting reflected. So something about this situation, this energy is also being mirrored, reflected. It's and I want to say they love the image. They loved you. People loved you even if some of the, let's just say, blockages or obstacles in the image were here from maybe your side. But I want to say it has allowed, this shift has allowed you to be loved even more openly, or by allowing this self-love to permeate, it has unlocked more attention or more compliments from the people's side. So I want to say it's like you have a lot of supporters in here who were already quite confident on the topic of you. It's like you are seizing the chances, you are seizing the stage, the moment. That's how it feels. It's like you're no longer afraid, or you're no longer holding back. That's what I can hear in here. So I want to say you have a lot of people interested in what it is that you're going to do now and from this point onward. This energy, this pile feels like they are attracting some sort of fan base, fans, and people interested in the long term and what's gonna happen, what are you going to do next. Whereas in comparison to some element of past or previous like chapter, this wasn't quite the case, or you were not as aware of those qualities that you so easily excel at. Okay, this feels like it's character wise, so it could be that this energy is talking about you being in the past more like waiting or dormant. I love that there is a surge of energy that's pertaining to your case, and it's infusing a lot of adoration. I just want to go ahead and drop that here, because Queen of Cups is a predisposition towards softness, kindness towards you because you are more open. So this could be also word of mouth circulating about the fact that you are becoming much more accessible, and accessible in this context to be loved and appreciated too. Okay, it's a lot of self concept, identity, like messages that are being shown in here or are driven from this area. So this pile will resonate with identity shifts, changes, and in general, like a sort of a shift that you didn't know you could make, or that you so easily can actually embody. Okay, and also we have the Tower in reverse. Okay, it feels to me like for some reason there is a situation from the past that made it so that you had some people interested in giving you compliments, supporting you, and some, like, I see it as positive things. But for some reason, with this Tower in reverse, it felt like it was not possible for some reason. Because, like, either the circumstances were to blame, or you were not, like, in the mood or in the energy to accept them. What I love in here is the fact that these like boundaries, obstacles, more so obstacles, because boundaries, like, it's not in a good way. It's like, this is the situation where a person could have had boundaries, but it wasn't very beneficial. It was like, boundaries to compliments, like some things, like something like this, along the lines of this. So definitely the shift in here is pertaining to the fact that you became much more open, and it's like some people are awakening in the possibility that they could come forward and basically, like, integrate you and not be kind of, like, I don't know, afraid of you with the Magician in reverse. There is almost as if a case in here for this pile where there was some sort of bet, there was some sort of estimation, almost like prediction or perception of sorts, that was placing you in a very high spot, a very, like, I believe in this person, I believe that they are going to go far, they're going to, like, yeah, go far. But, like, it was almost like delayed, or like you didn't, like, the person believed in you, but you didn't quite believe in yourself. And because this is people, this is hot on you, this is like a lot of people being informed about some sort of support that someone extended, or someone believing in you and them being aware of it. Right now it feels like you are stepping into this energy of, yeah, I know. I know why. I know why, I know how, I know everything, I know that I'm the big deal. I love that this pile is stepping into non-apologetic sense of self-worth, and belief in oneself, and it's so big, it feels like it's actually urging you to step into a more active, proactive type of role. So okay, also we have Six of Wands in reverse. This feels like exactly the case where maybe humbling, maybe hesitating. Some of you will be identifying with the energy of being either humble or not taking on the stage, the role, the responsibility, or not feeling like you are enough. And it was a bit like self-sabotaging in this case, but you don't have to fear, because I feel like for this reading, powerfully what's coming through, it's people are very attuned to your value, to your worth, regardless of what it is, the stance that you have on this topic in and of itself. So what does that mean? You could have been a match to situations where you either doubted yourself, thought that people judged or rejected, or maybe thought about you in a bad way, where actually it feels to me like more so it was um, almost like a projection, or you thinking of yourself in this way, when actually all along the people were very happy and very much supportive of you and were believing in you all this time. And I don't say this lightly, because again, like, I see this very strange situation where I have the Sun, self-love, and Queen of Cups, very sweet energies, being covered by a lot of in reverse cards, such as the Magician, Temperance, Tower, and Six of Wands. There is definitely hesitation in here. Now, how this filters out in your life particularly, this depends on you. But I just want to say, expect people when you're gonna like be open, and I can see this chapter beginning, or this shift in here that you should be aware of in some way, shape, or form. I see the case, a situation where you could open up to someone, and they could be confessing the fact that they were all along on your side, or they were admiring you all along from the distance, and they didn't know how to make it happen that you became aware of this too. So there is a lot of unspoken, unsaid, not so easily shown. It's as if I don't know why people just hesitate. And with the Four of Swords I saw in there in reverse, it's like they thought that it was not relevant. Also, I saw in there the Five of Wands in upright. Like, I'm not kidding. It feels like there was one negative card there, like, and I don't believe in positive or negative BS like cards, but it's like one negative card and it was actually not right. No, it's like not pertaining at all to the, this is no white or black type of mentality thinking, good and bad. Yeah, no, not the case. It feels like distinctly you can be quite amazingly surprised of what people can say about you. Okay, it's just, I don't know, I'm looking at these cards and it's like making me feel like either you rejected some compliments, or you thought to yourself maybe at some point, yeah, maybe this is true, but then you questioned, second guessed yourself at some point, and thought, no, maybe not about me, maybe that, like, that negative story is much more relevant. I don't know. This is like a quiet, observant groups of people who admire you, and funnily enough, this is like some groups of people will admire, or would admire in this case, something about you, like fragmentally. Some of them more things, but you would find that you have multiple groups of people admiring you in various ways. It's like, a group of people who is much more, like, let's just say, philosophical, will actually admire you from this stance. Some other people who are like, in a work context, could admire you for something else. And all of this, it seems like it has happened, or it has been going on for quite a while in the background, and this reading almost like came as a confirmation that, yeah, it was relevant all along, it happened all along, it was just like inaccessible, or it felt like you lived in a different or parallel reality where it wasn't brought to your awareness. Okay, Three of Cups also, it's like interestingly, there is like a message beyond even the topic itself. It's like saying you just have a lot of people wanting to connect, to get to know you. And this is not like, if you're into deep relationships, then this is gonna be pertaining to the fact that people have a lot of interest and a lot of like desire to connect to you on a deep level. If you have like light friendships, you have that. Regardless, you have all kinds of spectrums in here but it's all like somehow brilliantly playing well with the preference that you do have in mind. So Three of Cups, I don't know, this is generally making me feel like you are much more desirable than you actually can potentially imagine or you're quite aware of right now. So this is kind of interesting for me to conceptualize, because it feels like it's a natural thing for my people on the channel to be very appreciated, but for this instance in particular, it's like, no, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is about me. I'm not quite confident. You should be. You should be, because not only have people wanting to connect in here, more so this is people wanting to, and they did believe in you and they still do, and they want to express some sort of desire to bridge the gap between that like obstacle bit and interested in connecting with you on a deeper level or getting to know you better, because there is like it's almost like a protest, because how this filters itself out, it's coming through in a way that's saying, how can they doubt themselves? Like, why are they doubting themselves? Like, you know, and I can delve into that kind of energy layer, and it's talking about people being shocked that you would question yourself, because with self-love in here, son, it's like, this person was meant to take the stage, and I don't see how they are doubting themselves. Okay, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I want to say, you would have some very shocked people, you would have some very, very like almost like sad or upset people that if they were to find out that you were like thinking of yourself in various ways, because it's the opposite. Okay, I see in here, like, I'm not gonna lie, Queen of Cups, this is kind reverence type of energy, acceptance, and not even tolerate or accept. It's like adore or love. I love when they are around. Like, that's what I keep on hearing. And for some for some particular reason, there is an upset in here, frustration that they didn't see you as often as they would have liked to. Okay, and just so you know, when I was taking this box to take a picture and upload, I wasn't aware what was inside, and there was a music box, and it started playing. It was so beautiful. What I want to say with that, and it happens so randomly, I assign meaning to it, and it resonates really well. It happens to do so. This is the story where the person is containing themselves, holding themselves back, where literally they're holding back not for necessarily no reason, but people are just waiting. People are very eager to get to know you. They love your essence. They want to see more of you. I think, aside from the very shift I was referring to, which I'm very happy about, the fact that people are eager to see you, that's like the second bit that really adds up and makes me happy, because it feels like it's gonna be almost like a wish fulfillment from my side, because here we are with an immense, infinite, it's not immense, it's infinite worth, godly, divine worth, impeccable, perfect person worth, that's being connected to the actual well-deserved compliments and connection and admiration and support and kindness. I feel like for you this is a relevant bit, where it's gonna be a linking bridge between those two, you recognizing yourself and people doing that also. So yeah, congratulations on that. If it resonates, definitely I love I love energy such as these, because there is literally anticipation and what's gonna be next, what's gonna happen next. I wanna see, I wanna be, I don't wanna miss out on the opportunity to connect with them. So definitely have that kind of excitement in here present in the reading. I suppose just enjoy and take the moment to let the compliments sink in, because they are well deserved. They should have been here, they should have been recognized from the very beginning, but maybe some of you are more or less aware of what was unleashed in here, like chapter wise or whatever. But anyway, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. That was lovely. That was such a lovely energy to read. And I'm very happy for the shift. Very, very, very happy. I only wish that this was the case, like you knew about this from the very beginning, because yeah, it's like the remembrance of what was true all along, and not like, the rest that was not beneficial, that was not in alignment with love, self-love, and love directed at self regardless. It's like not true. Okay, have to let that go. Like, anything else rather than perfection in reasonable terms and in reasonable like quantities, is any less than that is not to be accepted and is to always be questioned, because that's the truth about you being worthy of love and infinitely worthy is ever um, the cornerstone of has to be the cornerstone of your reality. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you loved the message in here, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out the other videos on the channel. If you want to donate, you will have the links in the comment section and the description section. I'm not holding you back from donating, so just in case, I have the links there below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, pile number 2. Let's see what we have in here. You have this, again, box. Okay. You have moving forward. What I can sense in here, similarly to another pile, it's some sort of release or breaking free. Somehow the themes in here are interchangeable. You could actually check pile number 1 because they sound very similar in their imprint, but could talk about various aspects of your life. So this one, to me personally, talks about a dimension of like an update. You know how there is the old version and there is the new version, and in this case, for your pile, it will feel like people are talking about the fact that you're kind of no longer sitting around, and I heard like waiting for the right opportunities. It's like you are creating them. There is a huge push forward. Okay, it feels like why this is important. It feels like it's about the fact that in the past you could have been regarded or assessed as like, taking on a role or being like not stagnant. Okay, not stagnant, but like you're gonna just be there for a very long while. I want to say there is a surprise, there is a shock, there is like this masculine moving forward energy that's being highlighted with the moving forward. It's like, everyone is like staying in the same spot, and this one is like moving. How dare you, how could you, and how are you doing this? Okay, this refreshed, this like stance on, I believed that you are going to be immovable. I believe that you're going to stay stagnant. I believe that you are gonna sit still and just listen to what it is that I'm gonna tell you to do. But it feels like your intelligence brought you a greater level of flexibility and a very like self-loving empowerment that came through with this moving forward. It's like, I'm not gonna wait around to prove anything to you. I'm just gonna move around and prove my worth to myself. Not even prove, it's like, I know my worth. That's what I can hear. There is shock in here. Okay, This pile, you're actually the one in here to shock a lot of people, and the tea about you, or the gossip in here, it's the disbelief that you somehow defied the system, you defied the rules, or you were like almost like pigeonholed, or there was an attempt to restrain or to limit or to place you in a position of limitation. Okay, not gonna lie, this is what's coming through. And with moving forward, and this movement forward energy is like, for some reason, this is particularly shocking to people because they, for the regular folks, to move like this or to take on roles or to take on such free, non-constricted action or bold movements, it really takes a lot of time, courage, whatever else, and support from people, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. But for you, it's like you did that so easily. It's actually made people feel a bit scared, or a bit like they're anticipating unpredictability from you from this point forward, from this point onward. It feels like they are unreadable. They are like, this this hot tea is talking about the reformed decision making, or constantly moving energy, constantly changing. It feels like being translated into words. This energy is like, I'm not gonna settle for anything. I'm not gonna settle for anything that's not gonna be in alignment with who I am, who I would like to become, and in general, what I like. I'm not gonna settle for it. It's like there's this lack of like establishment into the wrong, almost like cell. It feels like very constrictive. It's a lot of the only freedom, like not the only freedom, the level of freedom in here that this uh, pile resonates with, it's just only matched by the level of very limited and constrictive like system in here that really fails to predict what your next move is going to be. I don't say this lightly because a lot of rules that were imposed on people, they generally work really well on them. So it's like collectively hypnotized, this feels. And for this pile, this is just shockingly not working. Not working. So it's like, the usual demographic is easily persuaded, or like, manipulated into a decision. And this one is not like this. This person is not interested in being manipulated like this, or breadcrumbed with an offer or whatever else. It's pretty shocking. It's a bit even like carrying a dangerous like aura, or dangerous type of perception. Like, imagine like if they are so out of our control, then what else they're capable of, like what's the next thing that they're going to do. Like they feel like some authority figures in here really feel threatened. But from another extent, this is also carrying from, shockingly, from the same people. This is carrying a tone of admiration and a tone of recognition and, strength. We have the Seven of Pentacles. I love that I see that. You know why? Because again, this is only strengthening the message I was referring to previously. This is not waiting around. So if Seven of Pentacles talks about investment, long-term thinking, whatever, it's not about this. I love that this energy is talking about you in a very not very patient way. It feels like you're impatient, but for very, very good reasons. This is like, I will wait, but not for this. I will wait for something that's much greater, or much, like, you cannot be fooled. I love that. It's like this pile is talking about like reputation wise, and in general, like hot tea on you. You cannot be, your will cannot be bented in someone else's like favor, or it's like you see through things, you know. And it's very, very sweet. It's talking, you could literally have some authority figures, like almost combative or trying to manipulate you, at the same time as being respectful. And it's very complicated. It's almost referring to multiple personalities that they battle with, or splits that they are addressing inside of themselves because of you. So it's like admiration in here also mixed in. So it's hate and admiration for some reason. So it's like these two linked. And the fact that you are unbothered by any, you're like untouchable. I can praise this, I can praise you, I can scold you, like that's what I keep on here. I could literally do anything, and you, like, for you it's gonna be neutral. For you it's gonna be like, yeah, and what? Like, you can praise me and I still know who I am. I don't need your praise. You can actually do whatever. I will not forget and I will not settle. Like, you cannot be like bent, okay? With movement forward, it's also a fear that you're going to find some place better, or that they're going to miss out on you, okay? That's the gist here. 10 of Swords. There is contrast, because 10 of Swords is like talking about defeat. I heard also paralysis in here. It's like, how are they so confident? How are they so easily changing things? How are they so immune to all the constrictions, limits that we do have? 8 of Swords. The atmosphere in here coming from people, it's charged with, first of all, a lot of contrast with how they see themselves, because they compare themselves to you. They feel themselves being very powerless, and with you it feels like you are very empowering. This is like a lot of like stagnant energy in comparison to you, and you're being seen as strong, not willing to settle for something that's not complementing your like value. It's like, you know, where people at work, for example, could take on a role that they would feel is making them feel proud, it's validating. For you it's like, you know, wearing an accessory, and it's completely shifted, like a completely diametrally opposite conclusion or view on things. It's like, you know, this is not the type of person who's going to settle for a job and like, you know, think of themselves like, you know, I'm really proud that I'm like working there. It's like the other way around. It's like they should be proud that I'm working there. Relationship wise as well, as like, you know, I know this person should be really lucky that they have me. So it's very like, again, similarly to another pile, a very self-assured, confident energy, and people talk about it very, very like it's active, it's in the shadows. It's not so very like, people are quite afraid to admit or to let you know that they do talk about you, but it's like a lot of power, charisma, strength of character. And also with Wheel of Fortune, it's like, you know, did God send them to us to actually remind us that we could be the same thing? I would be surprised, because a lot of them are feeling this way, but they cannot word it, okay? So it's like, you know, they feel so favored, they feel so refreshing, they feel so different, they feel all of this, and they cannot, like, people can, like, on a deep level have the experience of those things, but they cannot vocalize, they cannot say, they cannot even find the word structures, okay? Kind of upsetting, because but you don't need it, like, you know, it's like I don't even need the praise. I know who I am. Like, why do I need them? Like, why do I need their opinion and stance on things where I can actually know that I'm infinitely worthy, okay? 5 of Pentacles. I don't know, like, I should just say it. It feels to me like a lot of people have to learn from your attitude of bashing through obstacles and not settling for something that's any less than who you are. So it's like, you could be placed in, no matter what circumstance, you're never gonna question, doubt yourself, and you carry this universal worth. I just want to say, hot tea on you, it's revolving around multiple aspects, but in here it's like not only reputation, character that's being covered. With the Knight of Pentacles, it's like work related, believing in you as a person, believing in you in a as a person who's fulfilling a role, a duty. Yeah, it's very multi-layered, and people do believe that you're like impartial, or they see you as like, you know, a person who's aiming for truth, or a person who's aiming for like not the personal, where you could be actually interested in personal gain. There has to be some level of that at some point in people. You cannot live without that, of course, but it's like, you know, you favor like integrity, or you favor things being done right. So this virtuous thing I'm talking about is gonna carry itself out in very different ways. Roughly, that means you could have work ethic in combination with feeling lucky, and then feeling blessed, or feeling like you're connected to God, or feeling like a truth bringer to people. And all of this could be interlinked. Some of people have a cluster of things, some of people have a variation of others, some people could literally have all of them, because the dynamic, or the like in general, the dynamic energy that this pile is carrying, it's very fascinating. It's a lot of attention being brought to you, but you're not begging for it, you're not asking for it, you're feeling like, you know, this is well deserved, I know, but I'm not focusing on it because I know it. Okay. And what seems to be quite peculiar about this pile is the fact that we have the Wheel of Fortune in here, and the Wheel of Fortune being luck and chances. You know, it feels like distinctly people say they're so good, and on top of that, they're even lucky. So what seems to be the case is like a mix, an assessment, or an opinion about two things seamlessly, powerfully, divinely connecting to one another, working really well. So this person is blessed because they're so lucky, and at the same time, they're so good, like as a character. I feel like, you know, this is the story when this is giving me the same feeling when I meet a character, like let's just say in a movie, regardless of the context, you meet a character and you immediately like them because you could feel like they primordially reflect and have inside of them some qualities cultivated that you usually would ascribe to archetypes. So for example, if that's a man, for example, they could embody some very masculine archetypal energies that make you really respect the person. There are various archetypes, you know, in tarot there are a million, so some, not only in tarot but in general, and this energy is talking about like a person who's gifted in many ways. Okay. And seems like people are also talking about this, so it's like, you know, how can they be so good of a character and at the same time they're so lucky? Okay, so it's like, you know, in life I don't feel like I have either, you know, and some people could be more or less confident in themselves but they don't feel lucky, or they maybe feel lucky but they're not as like, you know, deep, or not that interested, not that deep, not that like, you know, I'm just here for the money, I just want to have a good time or something like this. And this pile is just coming through and blasting all of this like to bits. A lot of admiration, a lot of respect, a lot of how are they doing this? I want to do the same thing, but most likely I'm not going to reach that level of proficiency. Okay. I want the results of all of this. I don't want to do the work. Like that's what I can keep on hearing. Like, you know, I want the goodies, I want the luck that they have, but I don't want to do not the work. Okay. Not the work. I don't believe in hard work. I believe embodying it is the case, but people just, I don't know, it feels like I'm referring to some people who are just not that interested, like the ones who are assessing you coming from the 10 of Swords and 8 of Swords. It's a very rigid standpoint on their empowerment, and which I would say is pretty much non-existent for a lot of them, because I see a lot of people admiring you while at the same time not understanding that they could do the same thing if they were to simply decide, intend, or move forward in that direction, or at least find a way to passionately pursue that. You come a lot, like with a lot of yellow in here, doesn't mean that you have the color yellow, whatever. I just want to say, in this context, this feels to me like you are being seen as a bright presence, a very positive, inspiring, vital, like vibrant energy. And like God sent golden. Okay, I heard golden. Golden in this case would be for me the fact that you're being seen either as a legendary figure. Okay, not like, again, mythology and stuff, but embodying some various interestingly specific archetypal like energies that would make you come across as very powerful and very respectable, worthy of being acknowledged. And literally, how you're gonna recognize yourself in this reading is like, I don't need it. I don't need it. Okay, I'm moving forward. It's like, I don't need any of your opinions, like coming from people. And I just want to say, people can change. They can be literally like you, and like, in various like beautiful mixes of energies. But with 8 of Swords and 10 of Swords, either they feel like they are lazy, they feel like it's not either possible, or they feel like I don't have time for that. I would say that even if you were to actually extend some help to these people, which you don't have to do, and you're not concerned with anyone else's like victim or vision in general, if they are not asking for it, then they're not gonna, you don't have to rescue anyone. Like, that's how your energy feels in this reading. But anyways, I forgot what I wanted to say. But there are a lot of people who are just not ready because they don't believe they could be like, the gap is too big for them. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard to be like you. It's not that hard to be like you and different, and also like great in many other ways. Okay, let's see what else I have in here. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. There is also the dimension of sooner or later they are gonna find what they're looking for. With that kind of set of character qualities, they are bound to head straight into something that's like, it's gonna fit you. It's gonna fit you really well. It's like you can't settle for something that's not representing you, because I'm gonna say it really takes a really established, respectable occupation, and in general like set of circumstances to truly match your energy. Because if that's not gonna happen, then it's gonna be a mismatch. And what for some people could be recognized, seen, or thought of, referenced as like worthy and very respectable, like, a high paying job for you, it could literally be worthless because you are chasing for something greater. So Queen of Pentacles is like, this person is gonna aim for the best regardless of what they are going to be handed, even if, and this is funny, it feels like people are very aware of your image and self-worth, and that you're not gonna settle for any less, and still they like try to offer you what they can. And they feel like, and this is like strongly job related for some reason, for some people in here, but it's like they know that you will outgrow it, but they don't want to tell you because they feel like they don't have anything else to offer. Okay, they feel very insecure. Okay, they feel very insecure because they thought like, this occupation is so prestigious and luxurious, and you should be feeling lucky that you're here or something like this. And then you step in and they feel like, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna sound like a fool if I'm gonna say that to them, because their energy is beyond that BS. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel. And again, if you want to donate, go ahead and do that. I'm not holding you back. I'm not gonna do that ever. It's not in my style anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to hear from you in the future readings. Take care. Can I have a break? What's that? What's going on? I have a lot of questions. Okay. Why do we have immunity in here? Is this Terminator energy time? What's going on? Not that I'm not ready for this kind of things, but it's generally surprising. Um, this is a very convoluted message, so I hope you are ready for it. But what I hear elegance, invulnerable elegance, or like almost like deadly elegance, immunity. Okay, that's a very enigmatic pile. That's a very enigmatic energy. That's a very enigmatic person who's watching in here. Because life feels like one thing that's painting you in some sort of character traits. Some situations paint you in completely different ways, and some other people are treating you or seeing you as in a different way entirely. So this is like, I'm not sure what to believe story for this pile, okay? And it's like this pile is not what they seem, okay? And both like in the best ways possible, but also in the scariest ways possible for some apparent reason. I don't know why this is coming through like this, but you could be literally anything. Like that's how it feels. Like it's the possible, and it's an 8, okay? So flipped, that would be like, and I hate doing that. Like, if we take one and then we take another one and then we put them together and then like this and we have 11. I hate doing that stuff. It's not gonna like, no, that's not gonna be about my channel. But okay, seems like today is gonna be an exception. By the way, it could be an exception to the rule. That's how it seems to be. The gossip on you, the hot tea on you, is super controversial, convoluted. People are very confused. They don't know what to believe about you, but you seem to be embodying multiple things at the same time. So what does that mean for you? You could be literally gentle and deadly at the same time. You could be elegant and intimidating at the same time. And the mix in here is so geniusly well put together. It's like, some people, they cannot like mix these two, and they cannot like see how actually like they would say that this doesn't go well together. So it's like, this pile could be savage and wise and innocent and like almost like aggressive. I don't know. It's like, it really depends on my mood. It really depends on what situation is calling forth which element of my being, okay? But with this 8 in here flipped, which I don't like saying, is the fact that you feel infinite. You feel infinite in some sort of like ways to actually surprise and take people by surprise. But I want to say geniusly and brilliantly well put together. Like there is some sort of like dark, mysterious, dark elegance that's just permeating the reading itself, and it's like, this like stripe of fire or like pure intensity or purity, okay? It's really so much in here is going on, and it's like, I could play sentimental, I can play hurt, I can play one day like I am upset, and the other I obliterate everything, okay? Yeah, definitely. And in here, that's like the story that's like very apparent to me, that now that I look at it. But I just love like the background. I just have to say it. It's like the background. First of all, it's the actual like sound of the engine. That's one thing. But then the flapping bit. Okay, are we like, we're no longer doing the Flappy Bird type of challenge or game. That's like gone. That's like the old age. But this one is like, the variability in the sound that these motorcycles are emitting. It's just, this one was actually flapping, okay? Last time it felt like it heard I heard it like it was an explosion, okay? This one, this is actually flapping, okay? Flappy Bird, okay? I thought this is gone. I thought this has been erased, okay? But apparently not for long, okay? Anyway, sorry for the rant, but I am like this. Get used to it, I think. With immunity, it carries like a very distinct I am immune to anything. Okay, that was exactly what I was like almost like afraid to tackle. Or, I'm not afraid because I'm actually reading in here some cards, but the people who get exposed to, I love to see them tremble for some reason. Because this one feels like, you are actually immune to a lot of generally, let's just say, making like general demographic is actually easily manipulated or easily swayed in the right direction, right in the definition of the person who's actually manipulating. But for you, it feels like, yeah, try that. You dare try that, and I'll see how far you're gonna take this. Like that's the energy of pile number 3. And I like find funny, not so funny, but I can see and hear silence from the actual gossip. I want to say like the topic of you is generally closed off or easily like dismissed, but not because it's like there is a lot of avoidance of your name, there is a lot of avoidance of the impressions that you do carry. It's a lot of like, I just wanna procrastinate and leave that person, leave that situation of theirs like in the background. I don't want to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it. Okay. With immunity, it's like, I'm tired of finding ways to actually try and make them do my bidding. And it in their mind it feels very natural. It's like, it's as it should have been, and you dare not listen to what I say, or you do not bend to my rules. That's very strange. But so far, I just want to say it's like, do they even break? Like, do they even have a breaking point? Do they actually have vulnerability? Why do they come like a lot of frustration? Why do they come out so untouched, so unscathed? They come off as like regenerated every single time. Every single time. Like, how are they doing this? Like, it carries an uncrushable like soul energy. Okay, pile number 3. It's carrying a very I don't like them. I don't like them because they feel so invulnerable to a lot of things that generally are stressful. It generally like makes people feel like with enough time and exposure, you are going to outgrow and, really almost like compete with people, where literally this doesn't have to be the case, or you don't intend to do that. But you know what? This feels like the story where the pressure is in the air when you are around, and people, they don't talk. That's fascinating, and this never happened actually on the channel. The distinct How distinct that this pile feels, it's making me feel like there is not as much like gossip in here. There is just hesitation, there is like silence, or there is like a very core feeling of fear and inability to fully understand what are you made of. Are you even human? Like, that's what I heard in here. Like, that's what people discuss in here. The thing in here is like, there is fear to acknowledge you to such an extent that they don't even vocalize it. They just pretend that, they don't want to talk about it, or there is a lot of thinking, like almost like people meditating on or contemplating on your name or on your presence, on your unique energy. So it's like, I don't understand where to put that person in my life. What's the category I ascribe them to? I don't understand. And for you, it's quite simple, it's quite clear. I just want to say you're quite confident, you're quite self assured, you're very aware of who you are. That's in and of itself the reason why people feel so threatened or so all over the place in here, But with immunity, it's like, nothing gets them. Like, and if it does, like, if it generally does, then that means that you're gonna come back twice as powerful or immune to something that you were previously vulnerable to. But in general, I just want to say spotless. It feels like there is some sort of situation where people regard you as being immune or impenetrable or lacking flaws, or there is something in here that says, I don't know anything about them. Like, why do they seem so untouchable? I don't understand. They're suspiciously good at everything. Okay, they're suspiciously invulnerable to what the regular mortal people are vulnerable to, and that's not necessarily like upsetting, but unsettling, generally unsettling, because what I can hear is like, um how do I word it though? There are some authority figures in here present into your life, and I just want to say it feels like I should feel like them. I should be like them, not the other way around. Why do they walk into the room and feel like they are the boss? Okay, this is not a true. That's not. It's like upsetting, like unset, like how they are doing that. Okay, like general surprise, and yeah, it's because this pile feels like you are proficient or ahead of the game in various ways and forms that are pertaining to your character and your identity and your priorities. So in and of itself, the priorities of yours and the dimension of your character is very high, like expectation, or very high looking, or in general reaching various high points of refinement. And when it does come in contact with the general demographical or folks, it feels like they are a bit at the loss of the word. I don't know how to say it, but it's like, you kind of leave them a bit speechless, because they don't usually expect to find some sort of thing like you, because this also feels like it's otherworldly. Okay, that's otherworldly, that's how it feels. And it's not very flashy. That's entirely the reason why this feels so shocking, or why people just generally remain kind of silent about your energy, because it's not flashy. It's not like, you're not like very explosively or extrovertedly displaying the qualities that you do, but when you enter the room, they are quite apparent, and they are there, they are felt. Everyone is turning their head to acknowledge your presence. Your presence seems to be, your energy seems to be introducing you to a lot of people. Okay, this is entirely unreadable, and it's making people feel like they don't understand what's going on. And people don't like to be caught in such states. They prefer to feel like they're in control. Okay, I was like, let's clarify, let's go into a different direction, and we have the moon. That's perfectly, like, that's so perfectly fitting. I cannot tell you. You have so many people in such confusing states when it comes to you. You actually won't believe it, okay? With moon, it's like, I don't know what to believe. I just pretend, or I prefer to move away from this topic, from their topic, okay? A lot of blues in here, a lot of dark colors, violet, deep violet, indigo, deep hues of blue, or light blue as well, but generally deep. I'm not kidding, like, this is just generally mentally, like, when the same feeling when you immerse yourself in a book or a story, but generally like with the books, and you are so immersed in it, you're actually not, you no longer have the stimuli to awaken you in the present moment or life. You're so immersed in it with the imagination that you're actually confused, almost like in trance or in flow state. Okay, Seven of Cups, what's coming through is like, regardless of the various points of confusion or lack thereof, people do get the idea that you're something very powerful and very, very, very high tier. Very high rank, high tier. again, almost mythological. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Am I reading to people in this case? High Priestess in reverse. Yeah. I just want to say, maybe in the past there was a better, like, and I don't like saying better, okay? But maybe you were allowing some sort of confusion or secrecy to conceal your true nature. Right now, all of this is leaking, and if in the past it wasn't readily available, like the notion of who you are, right now when you enter the room, people get this almost like dry feeling of unease in their body. I don't know. And to me, this is not negative, because you would actually think, or you would assume that this is like, okay, not as very like good reading or whatever. Maybe not. Who knows? Really, I don't know. Cannot read everyone's minds, but I just want to say it's coming through as very, very like respectable, worthy of respect, defined, and noble. Very noble. It's like, play well. Play your cards well with them, with pile number 3, because if you don't, then you're not gonna actively, haunt the person, but the general notion and your aura is gonna sooner or later haunt them, okay? And to me, what's fascinating, like, hear me out, and I'm gonna confirm it with a card. Three of Pentacles in reverse. It's not like the general tea on or gossip on you is running the risk of misunderstanding your core values or nature, because there is like a lot of projection in here, obviously, with the moon, and confusion, and on top of things, as if that wasn't enough. But you demand respect, you demand truth, you demand authenticity, you demand integrity in here. You could demand clarity and transparency in a world that doesn't quite like to give that, okay? In a world that, people could be like literally not trusting, not like their loved one, themselves, okay? And you demand that out of them with your presence. And I want to say this pile feels like you are capable of a great love. I don't know why this is suddenly coming through, but capable of great things in general. If only people are allowed to be almost like terraformed or reinvented by your touch. With the Magician, it's like, I could literally call forth like blessings upon you, but if you still intend to live your life in the way that you did, I have nothing to do with you. Like, that's how it's pretty straightforward, cutting, not gonna lie. This is very Scorpio energy, okay? After the truth, like this theme in here, it's like secrecy, mystery, like dominance, and like holding the strings of power from the shadows, but doesn't have to be. If you resonate with it, regardless of your zodiac sign, or let me just, I love, because I hear that you're gonna resonate if you are a Scorpio, if you are a Pisces, if you are a Cancer, if you are a Virgo, if you are like you're gonna resonate if you are any of the stated zodiac signs, which I am gonna just go ahead and say that they are all like, I love like that kind, like, it's gonna resonate if you're any like zodiac sign. Okay. I just want to say, with the Magician in here, and this was like the last card I draw, like from every, like, it's kind of not sad, but like, such a waste, because you have such a powerfully transformative character in a world that is not trained to value and to be allowed to be like destroyed and reinvented and bestowed with the same quality of like grace that you possess. And so you're so self-contained in that, and so beautifully like orderly and organized in yourself. Like, it's just amazing. The world would be like begging for this type of energy, but they are not ready to go there. They're not ready to embody, they're not ready to go for it in the same bravery and boldness that you do. And they will just most likely hesitate and not be ready to take on the identity and the core like legend that you can embody. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope it resonated. If you are from the all the zodiac sign list, it has to resonate. If you're like from like any zodiac sign existent one, okay, just gonna go ahead and say that. Okay, if you resonated, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel. I have so many, I don't know what I do with my life, but check out the donation links if you want to donate. Again, not holding you back for dear life. I'm not gonna do that. If you want to donate and if you just cannot hold back from doing that, I highly recommend you satiate that desire and access the links in the description section and the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Your God-sent reader is sending you best regards. Thank you so much for watching and giving me the honor to read for you, and I hope to hear from you, hopefully, in another reading, in the following reading, not just any other reading, okay? Take care, and love you, and bye.